All right, so we're going to have a serious discussion today, and I usually completely avoid topics like this. I'm an entertainer. I'm not a, political person. I'm not a historian. I'm not an environmentalist. I'm not a socio-political person. I'm just a random guy who makes videos about video games because I've been playing video games for very long, and I happen to do pretty well on YouTube. At the end of the day, that's just who I am. I'm no one special. Anyone can do what I do, and I encourage you to do what I do and make your own video game YouTube channel. However, there's some stuff happening in the real world that is now impacting the video game industry, and it's something I want to talk about. And I know that people are going to get upset by some of the things I say about this because there's always people that are going to be upset. Everything in society today, because of things like social media and being so interconnected, everything has to be black or white. You can't have that middle ground. You can't have that gray area to sort of question things. And I think it's absolutely disgusting that we have gone to this as a society where we hate people because of their skin color, their religious beliefs, their economic beliefs, their political beliefs, their religious beliefs. It's absolutely ridiculous to me that you can't have a discussion about these things without people getting so mad and trying to take down those people beyond just the discussion. Instead of worrying about the subject matter at hand, they equate it with the individual, and they try to pigeonhole this individual. And it really pisses me off, honestly. But we're obviously here to talk about what's happening with Nintendo right now because we're a Nintendo channel. We talk about a lot of Nintendo stuff here. We're like 80% Nintendo. I understand that. And obviously, there are things happening in the real world that are now affecting the video game industry. I hate it that I have to sort of tiptoe and watch what I say, but probably by the end of this video, I'm just not going to give a shit and I'm just going to call it like it is. But, these little YouTube algorithm censors looking for certain words that you say, Big Brother is watching you, kiddies. But a couple days ago on the channel, we of course talked about the Advance Wars situation and how the game was getting delayed, obviously because of the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine right now. With Russia invading the Ukraine, there's a war going on right now. I'm sure you've heard about it because it's all over the place. So Nintendo decided to delay Advance Wars, and I actually caught some flack for my comments in that video because I was empathetic towards the situation. I said, you know what? I might not like it because of the fact that I want to play this game, but I can understand it. And people were like, oh, RGT, you're going SJW. If you honestly think that, that's the type of person I am, you haven't been watching this channel. And it makes me laugh for people to think that. But this is a bigger thing than just us. This is a worldwide thing. And the funny thing is, I didn't even realize this till after I made that video, but Advance Wars, the first game that came out on the Game Boy Advance, released in the United States on September 10th of 2001. What happened on September 11th? I think something happened on September 11th, 2001, and the game was delayed in Europe and in Japan because it hadn't released yet because of what happened with 9/11 here in the stateside. So this isn't, something that hasn't happened before. It's not like there's not a precedent for this happening before. And with Nintendo doing it, they're a global company. They're a worldwide company. All because something doesn't impact you directly doesn't mean that you can't be empathetic towards it, that you can't understand what's happening in these regions. And of course, during that time frame, nobody was on Twitter. Twitter wasn't a thing. You were still controlled in how you talk to people. You really had to talk face to face. Yeah, you had cell phones, but you didn't have all these apps for them. So it was a different time frame, but that's a true story. That's actually what happened. So people got upset that I was empathetic and understanding about why they delayed this game. And I mean, that's just how I felt. And if you're upset by that, then that's absolutely bizarre to me because it's just my opinion. I don't make these decisions. I have to look at the decision and decide how I feel about it. And that's how I felt about it. But then the people that were, praising me and cheering me for having that stance on Advance Wars might disagree with what I have to say next, because now there's more things happening with this. And, this is coming to us from Eurogamer via Nintendo Life. I am going to have the article up on the screen here. I'll read it with you guys. They actually closed our comment section because I guess they didn't want to have discussions about this. I'm sure this is a sensitive subject for a lot of people, but I'm not closing my comment section. I want you guys to talk about this. I want you guys, obviously don't listen to the trolls. I mean, if you're sitting there and you're interacting with the trolls, you're just feeding them. That's what they live off of. They live off of attention. Don't worry about the trolls. But if you want to have a serious discussion in the comment section down below, feel free. go ahead, be my guest. Just be respectful of your fellow man. But here's the article in question. So basically, Nintendo has announced that they are putting a pause on product shipments to Russia. They are no longer shipping things over to Russia as of the current time and frame. And they gave a statement to Eurogamer saying the following thing: "We have decided to suspend all shipping of Nintendo products to Russia for the foreseeable future. This is due to the considerable volatility surrounding the logistics of shipping and distributing physical goods. In addition, Nintendo eShop in Russia is currently under maintenance following the suspension of transactions in Russian rubles by the payment provider." Eurogamer also points out that Nintendo has pulled certain marketing material. As one example, a trailer that previously went online has been removed from YouTube. So essentially what's happening here is Nintendo is no longer shipping Nintendo Switches and, of course, Nintendo games into Russia right now because of the volatile situation, which I get it. Okay, I understand that, you know, there's a big conflict going on right there. But the conflict is more of Russia going into the Ukraine. It's not necessarily the Ukraine going into Russia. And obviously, you know, there's things like planes and stuff. You got to worry about planes, you know, getting taken down and stuff like that. Like, I completely understand it, but I don't like things like this. And we're seeing it more and more from different companies. We're seeing, you know, a lot of companies, I believe EA removed the Russian team in FIFA 22 for the soccer game. So now there's no Russian national team and things like that. But to me, this is something that is impacting the Russian people, not the people who are in the decisions of this, because there's people in Russia who probably don't agree with the war. It seems like a majority of people, I don't know percentages. Obviously, you're getting one thing from one side of media, one thing from another side of media. I don't know the percentages, but there's enough stuff out there to see that there are a lot of Russians who are completely against this war. You know, one of my favorite metal bands, which I'm sure I'm going to blow some people's minds right here, Slaughter to Prevail. Yes, RGT is a Slaughter to Prevail fan, is a Russian band. The lead singer's name is Alex Terrible, and this dude is like straight up Russian, like big, beefy dude. In one of the music videos, he's literally wrestling a bear in the Russian woods when it's snowing. So this man is like Russia through and through. And he had to come out and make a statement saying, hey, you know, we are a Russian band, obviously, but, you know, we don't like this whole situation. You know, we've been to the Ukraine a bunch of times. We have done many tours there. We actually finished our last tour in the Ukraine. We have much love and respect to the people of Ukraine and, you know, all that sort of stuff. And I look at situations like this with Nintendo not shipping their products to Russia. And of course, the eShop now is not up and running because of the whole Russian economy situation, because all these Western companies and companies from Japan are pulling support from, you know, Russia to sort of cripple their economy. And it's like, you got to remember the person in charge of this, they don't care. They don't care about this. You're not hurting the people who are sitting there trying to find an escape right now from the situation that's happening in their country when it comes to Russia right now. Because, you know, there's kids out there, all right? There's kids who have no idea what the hell is going on. They just hear all this terrible stuff. So for them, video games are an escape. For them, movies are an escape. YouTube is an escape. Music is an escape. It's kind of like if you were in a situation like a domestic abuse situation where like maybe one of your parents was like beating you. What do? You lock yourself in your room. You play video games. You escape to these different worlds that allow you to forget about what's going on in the real world. And that's kind of what my channel is built on. I like to give people that escape. But when the escape is no longer able to be ignored because it's right there in front of your face, and now it's impacting the sort of things I talk about, I have to talk about things like this. And it's not the government. Like, is the government sitting there? The Russian government, is Putin sitting there like, oh shit, now I can't play Kirby, you know, Kirby in the Forgotten Land on my Nintendo Switch because Nintendo's not shipping things here and I can't access the eShop. No, it's the people, it's the kids, it's the families. And, man. And it's a tough situation. Once again, this is not a black and white situation. This is not a situation where you can look at it and be like, yes, this is the right decision. No, this is the wrong decision. Because I just gave you that middle ground. From an economic standpoint, yes, you have to try and, you know, force this man to stop doing what he's doing by ruining his economy. But by ruining his economy, you're ruining people's lives too. So it's tough, man. It's a shit situation all around. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't do something, then some little asshole on Twitter is going to be like, why isn't this company doing something? Why aren't they standing up? But if you do something, there's going to be another asshole on Twitter that's going to be like, I can't believe they're doing this. What the hell are they thinking? And it's like, you can't win with people. So if it's a decision that you feel is right and a decision that you feel is just in the treatment of people, then I guess you have to do it. But I mean, I sympathize with those people. I don't know if I have any Russian viewers or viewers in the Ukraine, but if I do, please comment down below. Like, hit me up on Twitter, send me a DM on Twitter, because I would love to talk to you and just learn about the experiences that you're having because of all this stuff that is happening and how it's impacting your hobbies, how it's impacting your escapes from the real world, and, what you think about all of this stuff, because I would love to have a discussion with you about it. I think it would just be a very interesting thing. But yeah, Nintendo has stopped shipping products to Russia. So no Nintendo Switches, no new games. The eShop is down. And, the people who are being impacted by this are the civilians. And, it sucks, man. It sucks. My heart on both sides, the people who are being impacted this economically, the people who are being impacted this by physically in the Ukraine. My heart goes out to both of you. And just, I hope the situation ends before it has to go any further. And, people just use their brains and realize, hey, you know what? We don't need to be doing this. This isn't a good thing to do. This isn't helping anyone, except for sadistic, selfish needs. But I don't know. I'm done talking about this. I just wanted to get this off my chest. I know this is not a usual Monday video, but it's actually been keeping me up a little bit. Once I saw this article, I was kind of like, I really want to talk about this, but there's going to be someone that gets mad. And then at the end, I was just like, fuck it. I am who I am. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. And if people can't respect someone else having a differentiating opinion than them, then they need to seek help, because that's what's wrong with the world today. So no outro. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.